Hey there everyone, and good Friday morning. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here with a video blog for our weekend snow, specifically our Sunday snow. We're not expecting any snow today, none tomorrow. This is all a Sunday deal, so let's not waste any time. We'll get to the details. First of all, today is a benign day as we welcome in the month of March and meteorological spring. It's going to be anything but spring-like over the next week, but technically when we talk about the kind of meteorological or climatological seasons, March, April, May is what we consider to be springtime, the transition between the three coldest months of the year and the three warmest months of the year, that being, of course, summer. We're kind of in between systems today. That little bit of snow that we had last night that brought an inch or so to parts of Columbiana County, that's well off to our east at this point. This storm is a miss for us, and this one will not bring us much more than a sprinkle or a flurry as we go into the first half of the weekend. We've got some sunshine out there this morning, actually plenty of sunshine, and this deck of high clouds will gradually filter in as we go into the afternoon. But it's a nice looking morning out there. It's chilly, temperatures are in the 20s, but that's pretty typical for a morning on March the 1st. All right, let's start talking a little bit about our weekend system. All right, where is this storm now? It's way out here. It's this thing. This is why there's still a fair amount of forecast uncertainty, even though we're a little more than 48 hours out now. This storm is still out over the Pacific. It's going to quickly come east. This is not going to be a real slow system. It's going to come and go pretty quickly. But it's still out here, and as long as the system is over the Pacific Ocean, the models probably don't have a great grasp on it just yet. When the system gets over land, it can be sampled better by weather balloons, and the network of weather balloons across the lower 48 states that data gets ingested into the models, and typically then you start to see the models locking on, getting into better agreement. Some of them may have the right idea at this point, but there's still a fair amount of uncertainty and disagreement, and part of the reason is that the storm is still way out here over the Pacific Ocean. All right, so let's time this out for you. This is not going to be a first thing in the morning on Sunday kind of a deal. This is daybreak Sunday. The snow is still off to our south and west. The snow probably arrives somewhere around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on average from southwest to northeast. I think it'll be snowing just about everywhere as we get into the afternoon. The heaviest of the snow most likely going to be late afternoon, early evening. And then from west to east, the snow will taper off to flurries as we go towards midnight. So between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., I would expect the snow to taper off. And by Monday morning, not much more than a few flurries and a lot of cold air out there. All right, there's been some model trends overnight, that is for sure. Let's see if I can... Well, I'm going to skip this graphic because I don't think I can make this any smaller. Let's see if I can make this any smaller. No, we'll skip this graphic, and I'll just tell you that there's been some model trends overnight that have shifted some of the heavier snow amounts to the south. There's been a southward trend. Now, this could just be the windshield wiper effect, where south, north, and that's entirely possible because the system is still out over the ocean. And this is pretty typical of a winter storm that has not made it onto the continent yet, where the models just, they're struggling with the placement of features, and you kind of see that windshield wiper effect. So last night, everything was shifted south a little bit. You can see we still get a measurable amount of snow around here, but the 6-inch amounts, if this were to be taken literally, would probably be south of our viewing area. So that was the trend last night. Is it a permanent trend or just an aberration? We'll see with the midday model trends today. Here's a look at the GFS model, which would suggest that we get almost nothing out of this. Most of the snow is way down here. That's a pretty dramatic shift to the south. The NAM is not as dramatic as that. It still suggests we get accumulating snow around here, but it does in fact have the heavier stuff south and east of Youngstown. So those are the overnight trends. We'll keep an eye on what the trends are today. Here's a look at our forecast map that we put out yesterday afternoon. If we're going to make some adjustments to this today, and I don't think we'll make any huge adjustments, but if we do, depending on what the midday model trends are, if they continue that trend that started last night, or possible trend of things shifting a little farther south, we may have to bring the 1 to 3 area down like this or something, and reserve the 3 to 6 area for areas pretty much exclusively south and east of Youngstown. But that's just speculation at this point. We'll see what the model indications are later on today. I would expect more, back and forth on the modeling. I know it's a little bit frustrating to see that when we're this close to a system, but it happens a lot with winter storms. A lot of times we see waffling back and forth on the computer model information until we get a better sampling of the features on the so-called playing field of North America. But right now, I still think this is enough to shovel and cause some travel disruptions Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. We may adjust that snow map some, but the timing, I think, is largely going to be the midday on Sunday. And of course, we'll have more updates on the Storm Tracker 21 app, on my social media throughout the course of today and as we get into the weekend. Have a great Friday, everyone.